Hi everyone, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio, and I have an easy starter junk journal today if you've never made one or you just want another simple idea for one. So this is made out of a paper bag that I got from the bookstore. I have an awl, a pokey tool, some paper clips or bull clamps, needle and thread, and something to stabilize the journal when I poke holes. So I'll show you more about each of those things in a couple minutes. So here is the cover. Took the part of the paper bag rather that I liked and cut it down. Just has a folded spine, and it's about 6 inches tall and 5.5 inches wide when you fold it. I have some fun papers that are just really junk papers that you might recycle. A lot of calendar pages, some coffee dyed pages, music pages, those computer test pages. Using a lot of those lately. Some extra scrap paper that was on my desk, those window envelopes that we all get in the mail, and some book pages. So just a group of pages, about 7, that I folded together in half to make something you call a signature. If you haven't really made journals before, that is what the group of papers is called. So now I'm lining them up. 7, by the way, is a pretty good number, 7 or 8 or 9, because you multiply that times 4, and then you'll have fronts and backs to journal on during the month. I add a lot of tip-ins and fold-ins, so if you thought about a page a day, you can always add more journaling spots. So anyway, just thought. So I'm clamping it down with these, I think they're called bull clips, and just stabilizing all the paper so they will not wiggle when I try to punch holes in them. And this is my handmade setup: a plastic basket from the dollar store and an old book. And this is a book cradle, as they call it, so that I can angle the book signature papers and the cover and line it up. So I'm using the awl, and I have a needle and thread ready to go with embroidery floss. I'm going to do 3 holes today, completely eyeballing it, not measuring here, but I can see this is a very small starter journal. It's great for a gratitude journal or just, a creative journal for the month. And I'm doing the top and bottom holes, really pushing down hard, and making sure I go through not only the pages, but that paper bag cover, and checking that out, seeing if that worked. Yay! It did. So that is the basics to set up your signature and your cover. And now I'm using the embroidery floss. I took a little piece of tape in order to thread it through the needle, and you want a pretty big eye on your needle and a pretty sturdy needle to begin with. And I'm doing the pamphlet stitch starting from the inside out and noticing I need a little more poking with the pokey tool, making that hole a little bit larger, and the next one too. They're still all clamped together, so that's good news, so they're not gonna wiggle out of place. And yeah, just making sure that I can get through all of those pages to secure them in. So there we go, and flipping it around. This is not not a graceful process for me, but in the end it all works out, so all good. And I decide that little tail of the embroidery floss I'm gonna just clip in place as well. And again, double checking, making sure all of those holes are, I always have trouble with that part, actually, all the way clear through. So yeah, we're good on that. And now I am going to continue the process, feeling that I have holes I can sew clearly through. So going back in through the top. So again, I went from the middle, inside middle out, And now just up to the top. There we go. It's the first part of the signature, looking good. And now I am not going through the middle. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom hole. So you have one long piece of embroidery floss there. Fiddle and faddle with that, getting that in place. Again, I do not claim to be graceful in this process at all. And yeah, now up towards the middle again from the outside in and adjusting there. There you go. And I'm noticing where my needle is. I want it on the other side of the big long piece of embroidery floss so that I can tie the tail on the right that's clamped down. Yes. And this left side around. There you go. That big long piece. And I'm tightening, giving it a good pull there. Cutting off the embroidery floss, checking, that's just a scrap, okay. There we go. All right, pamphlet stitch, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Make sure you really do give it a tight pull. Do that, tug a couple times because you don't want it loose. And now I'm just doing a really simple knot just to hold that securely. And I don't know, this one is going to be a big floppy bow. You can definitely make it smaller than this, and I even double knotted it. So that's all right. There's lots of ways you can do it. This will secure it nicely. So it is sewn in. I have the clips now coming off, and I'm bending back that sort of long envelope. And here's the painterly page I had as scrap behind some artwork, coffee dyed paper, those calendar pages, they're all in. Envelopes and all those good things. Now I'm going to add later more writing spots in space, and I always add line paper. I glue stick in things so that I have plenty of journaling writing spots too. So don't worry about that. These are just sort of the pages. And oh yeah, there's a nice little flashcard for a tag. So here's what I mean. You can add grid paper, line paper, paint, anything you want for more writing spots so that you enjoy documenting in your junk journal. So I hope this was helpful. It's an easy starter junk journal. I appreciate you stopping by my channel, and I hope you give it a try. Thank you so much for watching.